here today, and in which she was able to report that only after signing an NDA were the executive committee members, let alone the rest of the PA, the executive committee members, given access to the league's full proposal. So again, to go back to, here is the quiz for everyone. At the same time, they have not seen the proposals yet when this went out. Who is this for? On Thursday, March 5th, as we were recording earlier today, and
on March 5th, 2025, during a routine podcast recording, reporters unveiled a stunning revelation that would expose deep fractures within WNBA union leadership. The WNBA Players Association Executive Committee members, the very people supposedly spearheading contract negotiations, had been compelled to sign non-disclosure agreements just to view the league's complete contract proposal. This wasn't about keeping rank-and-file players in the dark. This was about silencing the union's own leadership team from discussing terms they were meant to be negotiating. When this information surfaced, Breanna Stewart realized the situation had spiraled beyond acceptable limits and decided to take action.
Get it. So for them to get it, it had to be somebody of some importance to leak that information, man. Now, Breanna Stewart, speaking to reporters at USA Basketball Training Camp, Breanna Stewart says that she does not know when the PA's next counterproposal will be sent to the league. There was an executive committee meeting yesterday. Stewart said she did not have these specific.
During USA Basketball Training Camp, Stewart went on record addressing the leaked correspondence, and her response revealed everything while attempting damage control simultaneously. She confirmed the existence of concerns regarding Tariq Ajaxon's negotiation handling without explicitly denying the letter's existence or the validity of those concerns. Her diplomatic phrasing about wanting to address issues with Ajaxon and the executive committee translated to serious operational problems within union leadership. However, her statement conspicuously avoided crucial details like timeline for counter-proposals, specific proposal contents, or explanations for why she and Kelsey Plum felt compelled to document their concerns in writing initially.
Where things stand in the union, but before we get into that discussion, let's do a quick recap. Over the last week and a half, we've seen the union's circumstances grow more challenging as information surrounding splits between the union executive committee coming to light. It started with the league's announcement of a target date of March 10th, being this date invoked by the league as one that the league and union would need to reach a CBA by in order to avoid delays to the 30th season, which is slated to tip off on March 8th.
Alexa Philippou's reporting from Front Office Sports revealed the systematic breakdown through exclusive union leadership access. The league's March 10th deadline announcement, designed to prevent delaying the 30th season's May 8th tip-off, created immediate pressure that exposed existing cracks in union solidarity. A tense executive committee meeting the following Tuesday became contentious almost instantly, with the central dispute focusing on whether strike authorization remained their optimal strategy. The dramatic shift from December's nearly unanimous strike vote to March's fractured alignment represented a massive strategic pivot within just 3 months.
Vocalizing their disapproval of the way certain discussions, communications regarding negotiations were being handled. In addition, a main sticking point with that tension was whether or not a strike was still the best step forward for the union to take. Now, what's important to recognize when that comes up is that the union has not announced it will strike. They voted in December as a collective to authorize a strike. What that means is that the union's executive committee now has the power to call a strike if they deem necessary.
The agent's intervention letter marked a critical escalation point, with nearly a dozen prominent representatives, serving everyone from superstars to mid-tier players, formally requesting Tariq Ajaxon provide access to the league's latest proposals. These experienced negotiators, well-versed in collective bargaining agreements and contract law, felt unable to properly advise their clients due to inadequate visibility into actual negotiation contents. This transparency crisis highlighted fundamental communication breakdowns, with Friday's union counter-proposal receiving minimal Sunday league changes, leaving everyone scattered across training camps and overseas commitments while awaiting the union's next strategic move.
What followed that meeting was a letter signed by nearly a dozen prominent agents representing players of varying standings in the league, from some of the top players in the league to middle tier players, etc. These are some of the most experienced agents, not only in women's basketball, but in sports, period. They come with a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight, and just detailed understanding of not only negotiations, but the legalities and terms within contracts that, like the one being negotiated between the WNBA and the WNBPA.
The messaging crisis became apparent when weeks of unified union language about pursuing necessary actions, including potential strikes, suddenly fractured publicly. Executive Committee member Kelsey Plum's on-record statement at the unrivaled semifinals directly contradicted established union messaging by declaring strikes would harm both parties rather than emphasizing preparedness for necessary measures. This wasn't a single dissenting voice, but represented a fundamental communication breakdown when executive committee members publicly undermined previously established strategic messaging before internal narrative control could be maintained.
In addition to learning about this counter-proposal sent from the league, which included minimal changes, the players spoke about where they stand on a strike. Notably, Kelsey Plum said that a strike would be bad for the union and the league. Also notable to that is the number of players who agreed with her. Now, I think up until this point, the language that was coming out of the union was very staunch in it doing whatever was necessary to get a deal done, including striking if necessary.
Multiple players at that media availability endorsed Plum's assessment, creating a pattern rather than isolated disagreement that forced public acknowledgement of internal strategic divisions. Stewart's attempts to reassure members about Ajaxon's leadership while simultaneously confirming serious documented concerns created an untenable contradiction that exposed deeper organizational tensions. The combination of agents requesting basic information, executive committee NDAs for proposal access, and public splits on strike authorization revealed fundamental breakdowns in negotiation conduct rather than minor strategic disagreements.
Union. That was some people's assumptions. And when I say some people's, sources have told me that there was a belief that a strike was something that union leadership was adamant needed to be pursued. Now, that has come into question because Kelsey Plum's statements on the record, again, are in direct kind of misalignment with that messaging. When you have a member of the executive committee saying a strike would be bad for the league and for the union, that forces, the union to address the disconnect.
Philippu's analysis highlighted how Plum's statement carried executive committee weight rather than personal opinion, directly contradicting union leadership signals and creating membership confusion about leverage strategies and strike viability. The tone shift from determined action to declaring strikes harmful occurred within weeks, indicating significant behind-closed-doors developments that fundamentally altered the union's strategic approach and public positioning.
A strike. So following that media availability with players like Kelsey Plum, Breanna Stewart,
you guys can check out the full sit down that she had with Front Office Sports on their YouTube channel, man.
The timing makes this situation particularly devastating, given the WNBA's historic success following Caitlin Clark's rookie season, which generated unprecedented ratings, attendance, media attention, merchandise sales, and franchise valuations. Despite occupying their strongest negotiating position ever, internal fractures have become publicly visible to the league, media, and membership. Strong negotiating positions require unified fronts with clear demands forcing league responses, not executive committees signing proposal NDAs, agents requesting basic information, or public disagreements about primary leverage tools, while essentially negotiating with themselves alongside the league as March deadlines pass and training camps proceed toward May season openers, with mounting calendar pressure becoming the league's most effective negotiating weapon.